All right, greetings and salutations, everybody out there in YouTube land. I'm your host once again, Dan Thornton, and I'm coming to you today, as you guys know, the last full day that I'm on vacation here on the cruise ship. I do want to let you guys know before we get into anything with the video, we are experiencing some heavy chop. It began around, I'd say, 11 p.m. last night as far as the boat, so you're probably going to see this screen shake a lot. I know it was it was a it was something new to me as far as trying to sleep through that. And once in a while, you hear alarms kind of go off and stuff. So we have finally hit some rough seas, and yeah, it has been an experience for someone who can't swim, who's never been on a cruise liner before. I've never experienced anything like this. It's a little unsettling, to say the least. So if I freak out or anything, hey, hopefully you guys understand. It's just, I have no experience with chop like this. So, anyways, as you can see from today's thumbnail, MCDC, had a couple of comments. We all know we talked about a number of different topics at the coaches meeting in Florida just this week, and one of the topics that came up was the Cam Sutton situation. He was specifically asked if the team was going to look to add another cornerback to the room, and he did say yes. So they were in active looks, or I guess the process of looking to acquire another cornerback. Didn't give any kind of rumor or speculation who the cornerback would be, or anything like that. Just said that they are actively looking to deepen the cornerback position, add another player. I said they had looked and even talked to a couple different people, but at this point, as we're all aware, nobody's been added at this point. I know a number of you guys have brought up points in the past couple days or so leading into today's video. Should we look to add a Newsome from the Cleveland Browns? How about White, who's still a free agent? Gilmore, Stephon Gilmore, who's still a free agent, a little bit older, but still out there, still playing at a high level. And there's tons of different players the Lions could choose to go this route, that route, or whatever. I'm going to guess most of us are going to speculate, hey, can we add somebody in the draft? Also a possibility. I'm just going to say it would appear from how this regime has worked so far, they're going to try to stick with a veteran cornerback. It doesn't seem like they really want to go through a high level or high round draft pick as a cornerback and need time to grow and develop that person. All right, and yeah, we're hitting some waves, man. Real quick before we get into the show, you guys all know if you've been a part of the show for a while, and I am starting about 7 minutes or whatever it is, 10 minutes early. Just because, as you guys, if you're watching yesterday, you understand I don't have ability to charge other than in my cabin. There's just no free ports out here for me to plug in. So I've got about a 40-minute window, say give or take, before my laptop battery kicks out. So, and at that point, I've got to wait for it to reload just to be able to end the video. I know some of you guys were in the live chat still going, and yeah, I couldn't even get access to the channel until I got back to the cabin and powered back up. All right, so real quick, if you haven't yet subscribed to Lions Talk Live, please consider doing so. I think we need, whatever it is, about 80 more subs to get to 6,300. So if you could help out with that, that'd be great. Also, if you enjoyed the content of the video, as you know, go ahead and hit the thumbs up button. Last but never least, if you are considering buying or selling property anywhere in the state of Michigan, feel free to give me a call or shoot me a text. You see the number on the screen, 269-998-2384. Let me work on your behalf. Let me use, like I said, since the early 90s, I've worked in the industry, and let me use all that experience to help you on either the purchase or sale of property in the state of Michigan. Let me see if I can save you some money while doing so. All right, welcome to Lions Talk Live. Probably going to be able to have a show. I know some of you asked if I'd be able to do one tomorrow morning. Looks like I'll be able to do a quick one, maybe 30 minutes or so before we have to go through checkout and then race over to the airport, all that kind of stuff. But by Friday, I'll be back home, back in the studio, so things should be back to normal. A number of you also have asked about doing a meet or greet for the NFL draft. I'm going to say, just because the numbers or the expectations for how many people are going to come to the area just for the draft, it might be a tough one for me to swing. But I will say this: I would like to, once the official schedule comes out for the upcoming season, I try to ask a number of you guys what would be a good day for us to have a tailgate, meet and greet, all that, do crew, get together or whatever, which home game, and probably earlier in the year where we know the weather is still going to be reasonably, good and strong, where we can try to get everybody together. All right, let's go ahead and get into the comments, see what you guys have to say. Who is the cornerback you think would make the best sense for the Lions to add at this point? I don't know if there's really going to be a legit starter out there. Maybe there is. Maybe, I guess all the guys that we're going to chat about have got some abilities. But let's also be fair to the cornerbacks that are currently here. There's some guys who can play. And I think there's some guys that will probably surprise most of the fan base with their abilities. But that doesn't mean there aren't some players out there that could come out and supersede my expectations and be stronger than anticipated. All right, let's see. Matthew, greetings and salutations. Back at you. Hopefully having a great one. Matthew, good morning, everyone. Super Bowl or bust, exclamation point. Woo! Can't be too loud with the woos just because I know I'm not alone in this area. But hopefully having a great one, my friend. All right, Robert, let's see. Good morning, Dan and crew. Back at you. Hopefully having an outstanding morning there. Moonscar, morning dew crew, 100%. You know what? I can't wait to get home just so I can have a Mountain Dew. It's whatever this is, day number 5. And yeah, I want to see the new place that's going in the spot for the old Circle K. Hopefully they'll be able to keep the same mixture and formula. If not, then I'm going to have to drive just a little bit farther to hit the next available Circle K. But I'm going to try it out. Bo, what do you got? Good morning, Dew Crew, Superdome or bust, exclamation point, and Lattimore, Marshawn Lattimore. I know he's going to be probably a person of interest. And you know what? We've talked about him on this show. If he stays healthy, pairing him with, Robertson, Mosley, the Davis the third, that's a pretty ideal secondary. And then Branch, it does sound like, before I forget to mention it, it does sound like the Lions are anticipating Branch getting a little bit more snaps this upcoming year as a safety. There was nothing specific said about it, but there were some tidbits in some of the comments offered by Mcdc and some of the other coaching staff in this week that it sounds like that's the way they're looking to go, which means they're also not going to have him in the slot as much, or unless you're going to have him play the strong safety up at the line, which he did do last year a lot of times, more or less as the slot safety or, slot corner. I mean, really, it's the same thing. We know he plays the run very well. He also became an effective blitzer by the end of the rookie season from that spot. So it'll be interesting to see what they do there, but I think we all get it. There's a ton of depth in that secondary. And if we bring in another one, Lattimore or whoever, man, that depth is just off the charts good. It may not be the true number one corner that everybody's salivating after, but there are so many good players. That does seem to be the approach the Lions typically use in free agency for any position. They don't go for the top shelf guys. They go about the mid-level. One could even say somewhere between the mid-level and the top end players. And yeah, we are hitting some chop, man. So, all right, Moonscar, is MCDC saying they're looking at free agent corners? That's the way I read it and took it. So they alluded to how much cap space they have, which is right around 26 million. I want to say he wasn't specific with how much they have, but I believe it's right around 26 million, which means if I'm doing the math correctly, you've got about 15, maybe 17 million you could throw at another free agent if you wanted to spend it all on one player. So, let's see what they end up doing. But my guess is they're going to do something before the draft, one way or another, to try to acquire someone. And with the draft in mind, I know we've already talked about it, but we're under a month from the NFL draft. So keep that in mind. We're getting closer and closer. All right, Drake, greetings, salutations all. Who are we going to get that's left in free agency? Question mark, or are we trading for someone? I'm trying to think, who I get. Everybody's going to say Newsom from Cleveland for a trade. Is there somebody else out there that we could potentially trade for? I'm going to guess then, Drake, that most of the probably top prospects are going to be free agent possibilities versus somebody you're just going to pick up in a trade. Newsom would be a trade. man, I just can't think of somebody else that would be a trade option. But maybe there's somebody there. Like I said, I have my morning Mountain Dew, and maybe that's the route they'll end up going. I'm just not thinking of who it would be. All right, David, we got good morning Vietnam. Oops, Dew crew. Okay, very good morning Vietnam. Yeah, 100%, man. Yes, and hopefully having a great one, David. Hopefully you're having an outstanding morning. Thanks for being part of the show, man. All right, Matthew, what do you got? Everyone who wants to go to the draft or go to the NFL, one pass download a free QR, code that gets you access to the downtown area for the draft. The website also gives you parking and access info. Okay, thanks for that, man. I'll have to check that out when we get back home. I haven't looked in it a ton yet. I'm just not 100% sure if I'll be able to go to the draft just because how some things line up in the schedule. I have some scouting things I'm going to have to do, etc. And I just not sure if I'm going to be able to work it out, but I'll try to keep you guys updated. If I can work it out and you know, a number of you guys do want to meet up, let's make it happen. All right, Moonscar at Bo. Let's see. Lattimore's contract is too expensive, cheap this year, but skyrockets the next two. And his dead cap for New Orleans would be $46 million if traded. So I wonder, do they just cut Lattimore? Because I know they're looking to free up cap. New Orleans is looking to free up cap. Does that mean he just gets cut, becomes like a post, June 1st casualty? I guess we'll wait and see. But if that happens where he's cut from the team, man, could the Lions go out and get him and, then not have to trade? So thanks for that info, though, Moonscar. All right, Robert Greaves, salutations back at you. Hopefully you're having a good one. All right, scrolling on down again. I don't have a mouse. Five fingers, greetings, salutations to the Dude crew, ! Coach, could we still end up trading with Cleveland for their corner? It's possible. The word was they wanted a 3rd round pick for him. I'm going to guess those demands were probably going to fall a little bit just because when you see what Snead got in trade, it's no disrespect to him. I just don't think he's quite as good as Snead. He's good. He's just not that good. So maybe you could get him for a 4th or 5th and then some other considerations. But, if you get it closer to a 5th, I know I'd be all for it. And again, no disrespect to a 5th round pick, but I just think getting someone who's that level for a 5th, I probably look to make it happen. All right, Man Bear, greetings and salutations, ! So Brand always said that we build from the draft and keep our players, ! Well, here's his chance. Yeah, and I know we've been talking about it yesterday. I thought it was almost just kind of fate that we talked about on the morning show yesterday, how the Lions, which way could they go with signing Goff and St. Brown? Could they move on from them? Could they sign them and keep them? And then just hours later, one of the points that came out of the meetings in Florida was that the Lions actively said, yeah, we're going to keep these 2 players. We're stepping up our time frame for contract negotiations to get this all done. And the expectation was for both gentlemen. I thought that was some of the key verbiage, that these 2 will be in the top 5 paid players in the league in their respective positions. Could that still mean there's a hometown discount of some sort? I guess we'll wait and see. And, obviously we're all speculating what those numbers are going to be if Goff is resigned, if St. Brown is resigned. My anticipation is St. Brown's probably somewhere close to 25 a year. I'm really hoping Goff is closer to 45 million. I get he could probably get 50. But, any money we can save is more money to have to throw at other situations. Just like with St. Brown, could he really, get 28 million? I think there's a possibility of that, at least right around there. But if you can get him for 24, 25, you save 3 or 4 million there. You save a few million with Goff. I mean, those are still some hefty price tags to have to throw out there. But money saved, it's money earned, and now applicable to other players. All right, Scott. In Holmes, MCDC, we trust. Let's go! ! And 100% agree, Scott. There's no way I'm betting against these guys. They've just done too great of a job in the time they've been here. Doesn't mean they've been perfect. Doesn't mean there aren't moments where us as fans can't look back and say, hey, should have done this, should have done that. I mean, that's part of sports, and anybody who's going to be a coach or a general manager, you're going to encounter that. It's just unavoidable. But I agree with you, Scott, that yeah, they've done a phenomenal job while here. And yes, we are. I don't know if you can see it on the camera, but we are getting some waves. All right, Matthew. There's a story out there that Sutton, Surtain the second, yes, may be available for the right price. Denver needs to stack picks to go for the next quarterback they want. You know, I saw that too, Matthew, and thanks for pointing it out. I wasn't sure if I even wanted to jump on that story just because I feel like we've been talking about Patrick Surtain the second coming here to Detroit. It feels like for a year. And could it be that the Lions actually pulled the trigger on that? He's got, I want to say, man, don't hold me to this because I don't have it in front of me, but I want to say 2 more years left on his rookie deal. So for the next 2 years, he would be cap friendly. What are you going to have to give up to get him? My guess is it's 2 first-round picks. Could you make it 29 this year and next year's first? Sure. Is that something Brad Holmes is going to do? Oof. I don't know, man. I don't know. I mean, I get if I'm Denver, especially the cornerback position, I probably want to, if I'm going to really target a rebuild, say, hey, I need to get my future quarterback, but we need more draft picks because of the Russell Wilson trade and stuff like that to build up some stuff. Maybe they do look to go that route. Maybe they are going to try to, offload some players. I'd be all for Patrick Surtain coming here. I'm just curious, really, what would we be willing to give up to get him? And that's the question you, me, nobody can answer is what's it going to take to pry him loose? And I'm just not sure if we've got the type of front office who's going to invest that much draft capital into one guy. All right, Moonscar. I'm guessing my guess is an older free agent corner after the draft. So maybe Gilmore. Yeah, and I think most of us would be probably okay with that. Gilmore, I don't know, probably because of his age, you're probably looking at price tag around 7 to 9 million, right around there. So if you were able to get him for that price, I'm guessing most people would live with it. He's, because of his age, he's probably also going to be more inclined to sign a 1-year deal, which I think most of us would agree Brad Holmes prefers. So yeah, we'll see if that shakes out, and I'd be way okay with it, man. All right, moving on down here. Oh boy, that was a big one. All right, Robert G. They are expecting 100,000 people in the Detroit D and in the D on draft day! Exclamation point. I'm thinking I'll watch from home. Yeah, and because of my schedule, that's where I'm thinking I'll probably end up being. But we'll have to wait and see. It could be that I can make it. If I do, I'll let everybody know. For at least those who are interested in going. How about that? Bo, how about TJ Tampa then? Question mark. Building through the draft. It is a possibility. What you and me don't know are Brad Holmes' plans, and I'm anticipating, but we could clearly all be way off with this. I'm anticipating that the Lions, as far as the draft, they're going to be focused on defensive line, offensive line. But I mean, who knows? Maybe they go cornerback, maybe they go wide receiver. There's been speculation all across the board which way the Lions are going to go when the draft actually hits, and that's exactly what it's going to be, speculation. Because if anybody here feels like they got a good read on what Holmes is going to do, you let me know. Throw it in the comments section. All right, Matthew, the Gilmore story is out there too. Yes, and we'll see if that comes to fruition. Quentin, what do you got? Greetings, salutations, y'all. This is what I'm talking about. Get another strong DB back there, and we legit defense-wise with that North, baby. Okay, yeah, and I get it, man. If to your point, you get another strong corner, you get them in the back end. You know what? We start looking pretty deep, and you have so many guys that can be flexed from safety to corner safety that you're 100% right. There are going to be a ton of possibilities. All right, Lions fan, what do you got? Good morning, everyone. Any idea who we should look to add? Question mark. We do have about 26 million in cap space. It's the big question. I know people are throwing out Gilmore, Newsome, trading for Surtain the second. So we're all gonna have to just buckle in and ride it and see what happens with things, what Brad Holmes ultimately chooses to do. All right, Bo, what do you got? Smoke screen? Anyone? Question mark. Perhaps it's the old bait and switch by Brandon and Co. Okay, we'll go with that. And it could be maybe they're just MCDC saying one thing, but actually trying to keep us from looking in the other direction. So it could be, man, 100%. All right, Don Kong, let's flipping go. Super Bowl or bust, 1,000%. And hey, thanks for being a part of the show every day, my friend. All right. Let's see, Doug, don't swim with sharks, Dan. Oh, I'm gonna try to avoid that. I'm gonna definitely try and avoid that. Brian, how's the go going? The trip's going well. We're heading back to port now. Should be there. I'm told around 8:30 in the morning. That's when we can check out and get out. So yeah, right around there. Time frame. We're right around that time frame. All right, Moonscar. Taking my first cruise next year, Bahamas, one also through Norwegian. I hope you enjoy it, man. I've never done this before, man, and I've had no complaints. It's just, man, I've just you want to eat, you can eat 24/7 if you are so inclined. Silver, just wanted to give you my condolences for the terrible news, Coach. Thanks for that. All right, and as you guys probably know, I know I mentioned it lots of times this week that I can't always guarantee that the internet connection will keep stable, but I know there are times, a few different episodes this week, it's gone in and out. All right, man, Barrick, Eeks, be safe, prayers, bro. Thanks, man. Thanks, man. Every second that goes by, we're one step closer to land. That's the way I look at it. Gary, and Innocent Man doesn't hide from the police. Yeah, and who knows what's going on with Cam Sutton, man. I guess we can at least say it's only been a week roughly that he's been missing, not the 2 or 3 weeks. But yeah, it'll be interesting whenever this episode takes its next step forward, what else gets revealed with it. All right, see, Motown. Great salutations, Coach. Hope you have a great time. Don't swim with the sharks. Don't listen, swim with the shark coaches, just to make sure they are far away first. Yeah, like 10 miles away would be probably okay with me. Silver, and stay afloat over there. Yeah, hopefully they're doing that for us because, yeah, I don't think I would do well in the open seas of the ocean. Bo, what do you got? I went through a tropical typhoon. Ooh, on the Taiwan LH A1, watching destroyers submerge in the waves. I was happy to be in a big carrier type. I bet you were, man. And hopefully everybody got through that safe. But yeah, I have no desires to go through a storm in the ocean for sure. That's that's not up my alley by any means. All right, Doug, what do you got? I really think they don't want to need a cornerback in the draft, as the best bets will be gone. I still think they may take someone like Tiggers. Yeah, the high school kid in the Canadian League in the 5th or 6th could be, and you could be spot on. You know, if he falls that level, maybe they do go for him and just try to grow him, develop him, and not really have to press him into work right away. So yeah, you could be spot on with that, Doug. All right, Gary, I'd like to see it here, Newsom or guy from Denver, since they're cleaning house. I think Newsom's price tag is probably a lot more achievable than Patrick Surtain the second, but maybe I'm wrong. Maybe the Lions are just, this guy takes us to a whole different level. I have a hard time seeing Brad Holmes give up multiple first round picks. Maybe they can end up getting him for something less than that, but that's at least my current expectation, what it would take to acquire him. So I guess we wait and see, huh? All right, Silver, start getting Vildor back and a draft pick. Yeah, it could be. It could be that they do that and maybe draft someone as well. So I agree with you. All right, brother Ken, Dan, I checked with some friends who have NFL connections, and they've said Dave Burkett is one of the respected best journalists in the NFL. So please accept my apology for calling him a hack. Yeah, no worries, man. I know he's probably been called worse, and I've been called things. So it's part of life, man. We're all free to have our own opinions. And Ken, man, I'm not worried about it by any stretch of the imagination. You're always a good dude. So hey, kudos to you saying, if you think you want to revisit your opinion of someone and address it, that's good of you, man. All right, Silver Surfer, I heard Campbell declined to discuss Sutton's case. He could at least send a prayer to the fellow. No more, but no less. And maybe that's just something he's been instructed to not really dive into anything by the Lions. I'm going to guess the type of person he is and the coach. he's probably worried about Sutton. I'm sure the entire locker room and front office are too, but they're also trying to stay away from it for whatever reasons. Maybe it's just been listed as a no-fly zone by the organization. So take it for what it's worth, man. Everybody just trying to cover them their own butts. All right, Jason, great background spot, Dan. Superdome or bust, 100%. And yeah, I will try to find a different spot that maybe had a charging or a plug-in outlet for me to plug into, but no luck. So I've got about another thinking 10 minutes, and then I'm probably off the air for the day. And that was a big one, a big, a big shake. All right, Moonscar, Bo. That comment made me want to throw up just thinking about it. Yeah, I can't imagine going through a storm like that on a boat, but Bo, thanks for all you did for the country, man. All right, Gary, Dan, no, Max Crosby is a pipe dream, but in your opinion, with draft picks to Raiders, could they restructure his contract? Sure, if he's willing and open to it, absolutely. But that'd be the tough part. You got to get him to agree to it, him and his representation. And yeah, man, there's some decent shop right now, man. All right, Donkey Kong, best cornerback is the one Brad chooses. I would agree with that. It is quite possible they've got some grades on these guys at this point. They've got their grocery list all set. They've gone through probably about 100 different mock draft simulations right now with everybody in the war room saying, okay, this guy goes here, this guy goes there. There could be somebody they really like and say, hey, we can get this guy in the 3rd round or 4th round if we make this trade and stuff. So yeah, we'll just wait and see, Donkey, what ultimately happens during the draft. Robert, with the roster construction, Brad can be aggressive in the draft. One pride, yeah, 100%. And I agree with you fully on that, Robert. I will not be surprised if we trade up to go after 2 or 3 very targeted players. And Brad just says, we've got X amount of draft picks this year. We're not going to be able to keep all these guys safely. We can't keep on the 53-man roster. We're not going to be able to hide any of them on the practice squad. So instead of losing them to the practice squad and somebody, pilfering them, we're just going to make some trades and try to only bring in 3 or 4 guys total this year. So I agree with you, Robert. That doesn't mean they couldn't trade back. But I just think we're in a situation where it seems more likely to trade forward or up in the draft. Bo, Amik might be getting short shifts by people. Yeah. And he can play. I mean, you guys heard me talk about Davis and how he performs. I really like him. I like his addition. I still think, if healthy, Emmanuel Mosley will be the number 2 cornerback. But Robertson, to your point, Bo, he can definitely play. He can definitely be a number 2 or 3. And I think he'll probably, if what the lines are saying about Branch is more accurate, that they're going to move him to safety more and more and still play some slot corner, then Amik's probably going to be the number 3 corner, the slot corner. All right, Matthew. Okay, economy. Was it the Gilmore mid, Newsome premium, Surtain, or okay? Wait a minute. Sorry, the economic pick would be Gilmore. The mid pick would be Newsome, and premium would be Surtain the second. Yeah, I agree. That's probably pretty spot on. Gilmore just he's on the swan song to his career, the curtain call. He's maybe got another season or 2. I mean, maybe he sticks around longer than that. Newsome, you're correct. He's not Surtain the second, but he's not bad by any stretch. So I'd probably take all of them, any one of them for adding to the team. All right, let's see. Dunkong, we know this is the next cornerback will be a Dollar General. Yeah, then know the next cornerback will be a Dollar General Brad free agent signing. Going to be amazing. We definitely have the cap space available. Yeah, you can probably see the screen shaking it. We're getting hit a little bit. It's going to be amazing. And it's just, again, I know we've kind of talked about it ad nauseum on the show today, just how deep that positional group will be if we do make that move and pick them up, or whoever we pick up, I should say. Server, hit that like button, hit it like James Brown. I did like me some James Brown. I still listen to him, man. I enjoy a lot of his tunes. All right, Gary, Patrick Surtain would be us over the top. Yeah, it would be if you could somehow make that happen, man. I just think his price tag is going to be too high. Maybe Denver backs off because they're not getting enough offers or overtures to acquire him. So maybe they are forced to take less But yeah, if they can get him, man, I'd be happy. Ed, good morning, Coach and Duke crew. Build to the draft. Need 2 starters from this draft and 2 backups and 2 developmental players. I agree with you. To me, and probably not a news story here, but your expected 2 starters would be offensive line and defensive end. I guess maybe kicker would be another option. Who knows? Maybe they just find some real diamonds in the rough that come in and start at other spots. I'm just not sure what those spots are going to be. I don't think it's going to be defensive tackle. I don't think it's going to be offensive tackle or center. I really doubt anybody's beating out Laporta. Maybe wide receiver. I don't think running back or quarterback. And then the only spots really left then, just become limited, I guess. So I don't know. I guess we'll have to wait and see, Ed, what happens. All right. Let's see. Doug Campbell said they may slide him to safety, but they may have moved too fast as free safety. They can fill a nickel maybe with Amik if they take a number 1 cornerback. Yeah, 100% there. So 100% with that. Yeah, so Brian Branch, I guess we can just say they're going to move him around quite a bit. He's going to face a lot of different situations, and they're going to have a lot more flexibility with him to move him around, and they need him in this spot on this play. That's where he's going to be. All right, Brent, greetings, salutations, Coach and Duke crew. I think Newsome is a real possibility. It seems like a Brad move. It does, man. It does seem like kind of not the top shelf guy, the next level guy. So, and Brent, good morning to you, my friend. All right, Doug, they are looking all at all options. Anything he says could be fodder for free agency or draft. Surprise is Brad and Dan's best friend. Yeah, they're constantly playing chess, as we've talked about in the past. They're trying to move things around. They don't want anybody to know where they're really looking. So I agree with you. All right, you got about 5 minutes left, and I think the battery's going to kick out. Brent, I'm also hoping we can add stickers, in the draft, along with a veteran cornerback. I'd be all for that. I think the kid's got promise. He's just going to need some time to grow. Good morning, Miles. Same to you. Hopefully I'm an outstanding morning. All right, Hooker time. Hey, long time, man. Good morning. Good morning to you. And let's see, Matthew. For the draft, they have shuttles going to downtown from parking locations. Assume for some of the local mall locations might be a good area for a tailgate get-together. I'll see what I can do with the schedule, and if I can make it happen, try to give everybody a few weeks' notice, and we'll see if it's possible to set something up. Miles, I enjoyed listening to Holmes' presser yesterday, and when it was over, I realized he had such a bunch of pretty things. He said a bunch of pretty things. And did I miss something there? I don't think so. I mean, maybe. But as far as the cornerback spot, that's basically the focus of this video. Oof, man, we are shaking all over, man. All right, Mike, howdy, Dan and Lions Faithful, back at you. Pat, what do you got? Hey, Coach, how's it going? Question mark. Right now, who would you take in the first? It's if it's me, it's probably going to be one of the. If it's me, I'd probably trade up at least a little bit to get one of the better pass rushing ends. If there's somebody I really have a high grade on, if not, then it's going to be offensive lineman in the first round, and then the opposite in the second round. Dan, all right. Brad will probably get a guy nobody is thinking of. Then focus on drafting a quarterback and hope that Mosley can stay healthy. Yeah, I'll go with that 100%. I think you're spot on with that, Dan. All right, Pat, we need 2 cornerbacks. Okay, we'll go with that. Maybe one free agent, then one in the draft. I see where you're going with that. All right, Don Kong, Dan's backing out of the baseball game and draft. Exclamation point, what the heck? No, not yet, man. It's just got to get everything worked out with the schedule and hopefully be able to get over there. So I did talk to Jen about your proposal, though, to go to the baseball game. So, again, just got to check schedules. So she's got to juggle hers just as much as I got to juggle mine. All right, Andrew, what do you got? Good morning, Captain. Good morning to you, too. Hopefully having a great one, and I'll do one. All right, Robert, hope you don't have to pass under any bridges. Yeah, what a tragedy yesterday, man. It sounds like there weren't a ton of people on the bridge, and I didn't really pay a ton of attention to the story just because doing stuff obviously on vacation. We walked like 12 miles yesterday on the beaches and throughout the port. So my legs are a little shot today, but thoughts and prayers go out to anybody who was affected by that. I know there was a pothole crew apparently on the bridge repairing things, and yeah, thoughts and prayers, man. All right, Dennis. Yeah, good morning to you too, Michael. What do you got? Greens, salutations, coach and Duke crew. Same to you, my friend. Always a pleasure to have you on the show. All right, Doug, 100% on most chips in to get top choices. We have depth already. If the right guys are there, Brad will pull the trigger. Yeah, and I'm with you. There's going to be so many good players cut from this year's team. That's why I'm more and more inclined to think we are going to potentially trade up, just because you can't keep them all. You know, anybody, if you're going to have too many good players, somebody else is going to be saying thank you for cutting this guy or putting him on the practice squad because he's ours now. And yeah, I hope they re-signed Reynolds. Watched Rams game. He was clutch. He was. And I know there's been talk about it. There was an article that came out yesterday, I want to say, where somebody said, hey, they're keeping the door open. It might happen. We'll have to wait and see. But I do think Josh Reynolds is ultimately trying to test the waters and see if he can get one last fairly good payday. Well, all done and dusted, crew. Fair enough. Fair enough. Mile marker, Lions. All right. All right. Moonscar looking for like 7 people still. Okay. All right. Robert, we just want you home safe. Yeah, and I'll be home. About, I'm guessing I don't know, tomorrow evening sometime. So yeah, going for it. All right. Trump's deep state attack. All right, fair enough. And hopefully having a good morning. And good morning to you, Donkey. All right, hello, Dan. My bad, dude. The draft is like a holiday for me. The fact the biggest one. So I don't work on draft days. I'm always off. Okay. Hey, man, let's be honest. As Lions fans, it's the draft has been our Super Bowl for decades. And you know what? Hey, go enjoy it, my friend. I'll try to get over there. All right, Doug. Want to thank you for all your dedication to putting out yourself. Hey, I enjoyed this. You guys know, man, I enjoyed it a ton. So I enjoy it every morning. So I'll still be on tomorrow morning. It's just probably going to be a short one, quick one. All right, guys, the battery's about dead. So I'm going to go ahead and get on out of here. Got you guys almost 40 minutes. If you haven't yet subscribed to Lions Talk Live, please consider doing so. Making that push to get to 6,300 subs. And I think we're about 80 or so away. Also, if you enjoy the video, hit that thumbs up button. If there is some breaking news today, I should be able to get it over to you guys. Just we're not at any ports. We're at sea heading back to the main port today. So take care. Enjoy the rest of your day. We'll see you all in the next Lions Talk Live. Take care, everybody.